A lot of people don't know where Odd Future is right now. What is Tyler the Creator doing these days? Is Earl Sweatshirt okay? Is Frank Ocean gonna stop treating his fans like their father, who left them and created a hole in their lives that only Frank Ocean could fill? Does Odd Future even exist anymore? I'm Blur, and this is Odd Future. Where are they now? Subscribe to see more videos of
Rent a supercar for a day, drive around.
Odd Future was created in 2007 in the white American utopia called Los Angeles by a group of then 16 years old Tyler the Creator, Jasper, Hodgy Beats, Casey Veggies, Left Brain, and the Super 3, which were a production trio. According to Tyler the Creator, he originally intended Odd Future to be a magazine. The whole idea behind the creation of Odd Future was for the group to have people of all areas of creativity, music, design, and even skateboarders for some reason elevate themselves in the scene and their art alike, which I don't know what kind of art skateboarders have for this world, but to each their own, you know? The group started working together and they made their first step on November of 2008, a year later after its creation. Odd Future released their debut mixtape, the Odd Future Tape, and a radical with each member releasing their own mixtapes in the following years, featuring each other in their own mixtapes. See, one thing that made Odd Future stand out and blew them up in popularity was how they saw social media as effective tools to market themselves. Years before it was cool, Odd Future let fans see what they were cooking by constantly posting on Tumblr, YouTube,
Go, asshole!
with photos and videos of the collective working, skateboarding, or simply just hanging out. The fake intimacy of these posts also helped them transcend from a local group to cult stars. They were a group where everyone else was made to feel included, a family that brought in fans from the other side of the screen. In 2009 to 2010, what would many consider the best decision of the group, the best draft pick since Giannis Antetokounmpo for NBA, or like Cristiano Ronaldo or Anthony for Manchester United, Odd Future was joined by Frank Ocean Earl Sweatshirt, Domo Genesis, Mike G, and Na-Kel Smith. In November of 2010, Odd Future completed a two-stop tour where their presence and the whole vibe was seen as the same with punk rock shows, stage diving, moshing, and Odd Future startling the crowd. When you think about it, Odd Future brought the punk rock concert before it was even popular to do it, before Lil Uzi and Juice WRLD pioneered it. But by 2011, Odd Future took the next step and became a household name. Tyler the Creator released Goblin, set the Odd Future on top, and Frank Ocean self-released Nostalgia Ultra, which this album is so fucking good. When I think about which era of Odd Future sticks to me is when Goblin was released. I think a big part of why Odd Future succeeded so much was also their branding. They proved that in today's age, just releasing a song isn't enough. Branding and content are just as important, if not more, than the music itself. Their moral compass was tied with internet culture, and in this era of the internet, a way to gain audience was to troll.
Okay, now what about your lyrics?
What about them?
What are you saying in your lyrics?
Nothing. Shit to piss old white people off like you.
Is that right?
To invoke emotion to everyone, even if it's hate. It didn't have to make sense. It just had to be so outrageous that people would be tuning in to react with hate or disgust or even love. Trolling is all they did in every aspect of their comeuppance. They were homophobic, sexist, hateful, which is pretty funny considering that the most notable members today are either bisexual or gay. It's the same vibe as these politicians who are the most homophobic people you will ever witness, because they're trying to hide the fact that they secretly want to suck dick. I'm not even kidding. I saw a headline of a guy who his whole goal was to kill gay people, and later he was found in a gay orgy sucking dick. Anyways, what was we talking about? Oh yeah, Odd Future. Odd Future was so into trolling and being hateful towards everyone that they were banned from entering New Zealand. They were, quote, deemed to be potential threat to public order and the public interest for several reasons, including incidents as past performances in which they have incited violence, New Zealand said. That's a lot of words. Why don't you just say that you hate black people and be done with it? That would have been a lot easier, considering the fact that they have so many metal bands performing to New Zealand which sing about shooting blood from their cocks. Then yeah, I guess Odd Future doesn't sound so threatening. I'm more terrified about bloody dicks than Tyler's edgy ass wanting to kill Bruno Mars. I mean, have you ever listened to a Bruno Mars song playing on repeat in the background while working a shitty 9-to-5 job, Tyler in New Zealand would be terrified of what I would do to Bruno Mars after finishing my fucking shift and listening to Nothing on You 24 times. 24 times. I would do. Odd Future would plan to be recognizable in every cultural aspect, even fashion, like branding themselves with clothes, like Supreme. In every appearance they made, they wore these clothes so much that even today, when you see Supreme, you immediately think of Odd Future. At that time, they began uploading to YouTube and Tumblr, and because Tumblr had this kind of content everywhere, it attracted a young demographic, which was uploading and consuming that. Odd Future came in the right time to attract an audience there, which at the time, Tumblr was kind of a huge deal, just for one thing. Porn. It was porn, guys. The group got big, and they took the chance to announce the Golf Rank Tour 2011 on the website with 27 stops, and by September they announced that they will be making a television show called Loiter Squad, which first aired on Adult Swim in 2012, which really, do I need to explain Loiter Squad? 2012 was the peak of Odd Future, where they released their most iconic song, Oldie, where the video itself became a stepping stone in showcasing an era where Odd Future reached its peak and became one of the most important groups. But the video hid something important, a vital member to the group, Earl Sweatshirt. At the time, Earl was out of the group because he got taken away, with the group chanting "Free Earl," creating a whole movement behind it. Now you may think, man, why was Earl in prison? But Earl wasn't in prison. The whole time his mother sent him to a boarding school in Samoa. I still thought before doing research that he killed someone and was in juvie or some shit like that. But no, he was in school doing algebra or some shit. The group turned their absence of Earl's Sweatshirt into a movement to sell shirts and market themselves, making it seem like Earl was a convict, which... that's modern marketing, man. In that year, Domo Genesis, Mellow Hype, and Frank Ocean released their albums, with Frank Ocean's still relevant today, Channel Orange, was nominated for 6 Grammy Awards by 2013, which distinguished Odd Future. By Frank Ocean included Tyler and Earl in his interviews. On 2013, Tyler the Creator released his second album, Wolf, which debuted at number 3 on the Billboard and setting a new image for Tyler the Creator. On August 11th, Odd Future opened up for Eminem at the Wembley Stadium in London. At least there they weren't banned, and in 2014 the group premiered its own radio station with live playlists and events like Taco Tuesdays, with Taco of course. But in 2015, Odd Future stopped and took a hiatus. The dissolution was imminent as every member evolved into their own way. At this late era of Odd Future, Hodgy Beats called out Tyler during the annual Capflog Gnaw, accusing Tyler of abandoning the group. Tyler wasn't able to perform with Odd Future because he was already on his own tour, and Tyler responded expressing his disappointment at the outburst. While Tyler's and Hodgy Beats beef wasn't as headline grabbing as other controversies, it signaled the end of Odd Future as a group. Tyler the Creator hinted on Twitter that Odd Future was supposedly breaking up. Although it's no more, Odd Future Wolfgang Kill Them All is forever, with Earl Sweatshirt backing up Tyler's claims as well. At that time, Hodgy Beats stated that Mellow Hype will not release another project, but he and Left Brain will continue to make music together. Hodgy stated in an interview that, nah, we ain't breaking up, nah, we're still moving. Some rumors began to circulate in 2016 about the group working together musically again after a picture was taken of Tyler, Earl, Syd, Jasper, Taco, and Martians together, but it fell short. And on the end of 2016, Hodgy Beats released his own album, which was the final release under Odd Future Records. The thing was that the group was no more because they eventually grew up and evolved, but the appreciation for each other never diminished. In Tyler the Creator's album, Flower Boy, featured vocals by fellow Odd Future members, he confirmed that while Odd Future remained together, they will no longer be touring, finally putting a nail in the coffin by stating what was already so obvious but nobody wanted to accept. Tyler also said that another Odd Future album was unlikely, noting that he didn't think that the styles would mesh together for a cohesive project. And he's right, but the love doesn't stop. Everyone still got respect for each other. For example, very recently in Capflog Gnaw, not even a month from now, Earl Sweatshirt introduced Tyler the Creator and they hugged, giving each other the flowers while the crowd chanted Rusty, a song that these two had, which reminds of the Earl Wolf vibe that so many missed. But to the important part, where are they today?
We're in a supercar for a day.
Tyler the Creator, the creative director, brand designer, and the de facto leader of the group, who kept it on top by his strategic marketing and overall concentrated talent, put these skills to his own art. If for some reason you don't know what Tyler the Creator is doing now, he's one of the biggest artists today. After his album Cherry Bomb, Tyler had critics doubt him, but Cherry Bomb was experimental for Tyler, in a way that it was a stepping stone for Tyler the Creator to find his sound. 2 years later, with the release of Flower Boy, he eventually found it. His releases, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost, and his most recent one, Chromakopia, are artistic marvels. So much so that Tyler is considered a legendary producer, the closest thing we have to a modern version of Kanye. Tyler has been in the rap scene for 17 years, and he has evolved to the most important voice of rap by only dropping 6 records since 2011. These days, he became a living proof to the question, is it really worth it to do what you love in life and never let go? The answer is always yes, as he still inspires every young artist to follow his path. His clothing line is popping, he has cars, he wears clothes that if a normal person would wear, it will make them weird, but since he's Tyler, then his clothing is iconic. So you know that's as successful as you're gonna get. Even in his latest release, Chromakopia, people still remain because his talent makes him relevant.
We're in a supercar for a day.
If Tyler the Creator prospered as an artist, then Earl Sweatshirt bled into being one. Earl's nature on the group was different. It was grimy and unreal. From his early work, Earl had a talent not only for rap, but for writing. See, Earl was a poet all along, and it showed. After returning for the reform school in Samoa, he released albums that led him to a path that's more underground than the others. After his public split from the group, he aligned himself with a different sound that he fully embraced in 2018 with his most important project and one of my favorite albums ever, Some Rap Songs. This album gives comfort to those who know and understanding to those who don't. While the Odd Future experience for Earl was explosive, his solo career is calm and collected, except that one Krusty Krab pirate song, "Are you ready kids?" type beat. Why did you release this, man? He made popular a sound in today's rap scene that was lost, and he collabed with so many others like Mike and Navy Blue, who embraced this kind of East Coast MC-driven hip-hop. His most latest collab was with Alchemist. Anderson .Paak, generally he is what he needs to be, artistically and ethically. And his latest song says, "I'm not okay, but I'm gonna be alright," which showcases all of his artistic theme in one single line.
We're in a supercar for a day.
After leaving Odd Future, Frank Ocean became nothing short of a legend. And if you hate him so much to the point of not calling him a legend, you can admit that he became a fan favorite. I mean, just listen to his music, man. After releasing Channel Orange, which its success put Frank Ocean on the spotlight, making people practically addicted for his next release, in 2016, he changed the music industry for the better by finessing the fuck out of his label. How? I'm going to try to put this as simply as I can. Frank Ocean was very frustrated with his label, Def Jam, and he wanted to get out of his contract from the company that essentially never helped him enough in his career. The final requirement to get out of his deal and become independent was to release a final album. But he didn't release one, he released 2 albums. What Frank Ocean did was releasing a dummy album just to finish the contract and be released from his label, and he released his actual album under his fucking label exclusively on Apple Music, gaining over 20 million for the exclusivity without counting the sales money. Frank Ocean took control and revenge from the labels that have been stepping on the necks of so many artists before him. I mean, just listen to him. Blond became a modern classic, with everyone in the R&B and rap scene acknowledging Frank Ocean's artistry. After the incredible success of Blond, Frank Ocean released a couple of singles, made collabs with famous artists, and kept being low profile. Blond left such a big impression that people were even more addicted than ever to his music, to the point of pressuring him daily to release an album. But all the rumors and speculation stopped when a tragic loss happened in Frank Ocean's life. Frank has been recovering ever since, and no one really knows when he will appear again on the spotlight. And I don't really think it matters anymore. If Frank really wants to release music again or not, he doesn't owe anyone anything. And if he wants to live in peace, so be it. At this point, I want him to be okay.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Syd was always more than an artist for the group. She was the host of The Trap, Odd Future's recording space, and their engineer. While the others were job-starting their careers, Syd created the internet, together with Martians, a group that fucking ruled, which includes the, Steve Lacy, Baby You Got Something in Your Nose, Patrick Pace 2, and Christopher Smith. You should listen to them if you haven't already. Syd's talent shows to this day, so much so that she helped produce Beyonce's album Renaissance, and with her most recent album Broken Hearts Club, everything is looking good for her.
We're in a supercar for a day.
L-Boy aka Lionel Boyce has become one of the Odd Future's most recognizable members without having anything to do with music. L-Boyce always had a talent for the acting business, as he began his journey by co-creating and starring in Loiter Squad, and that showed today as he captured national attention as the pastry chef Marcus in a series you may know, I don't know if you know, The Bear. And before he says something mean, he's playing a very important character. He's playing one of the main characters in the series. And he's not stopping there. He's also set to appear in the upcoming film Shell, alongside Elizabeth Moss and Kate Hudson. L-Boy is also making moves in music by collaborating in 2023 with Earl Sweatshirt as a DJ duo. So all is well for our guy.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Veggies has a career as an independent artist these days. In 2015, he made a deal with Epic Records, who helped put out his then album. His deal didn't last, but now as an independent artist, he continued dropping consistently by dropping 2 EPs in 2022 and 2023, and a new project this year called Nostalgia. Veggies was one of the members of Odd Future that gave the independent vibe that they had, and continued giving the feel into himself and his music. That doesn't seem to be slowing anytime soon.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Matt Martian has always been an unsung force behind Odd Future. Matt Martian has built a reputation as one of the group's most innovative producers, and he played a prominent role in the group's future direction. Matt Martian was particularly active in collaborative projects, teaming up with Syd to co-found the internet, and joining forces with Pyramid Vritra for the Jade Age of Tomorrow. Although his solo career has mixed projects, Matt Martian plans to change that in his 2024 release. Marks an important return in his career. Left Brain was a very vital member of Odd Future, producing so much behind the scenes that every Odd Future release had his contribution, becoming one of the creators of what we know as the Odd Future sound today. His series Mind Gone is kind of over, but he makes collab albums like his 2018 project with Brain Drugs. Jasper was one of the most loved members of Odd Future, and he continued his path shortly after Odd Future's peak. While Tyler found it in music and L-Boy found it in acting, Jasper found it as an entertainer by involving himself with everything: comedian, performer, even as an actor. For example, he was a guest in the Eric Idle show, made an appearance on WrestleMania, and was on the Jackass Forever movie that he got beat up a lot, and had his father involved with him. He also joined the Odd Future reunion during Earl Sweatshirt Doors show anniversary. Taco, or Travis Bennett, today has built an impressive active career over the recent years. Although he wasn't heavily involved in rapping during Odd Future's heyday, Taco found his footing in acting. He achieved recognition playing Els in Day, and has starred alongside John Hamm in Confess, Fletch, and even portrayed the son of Eddie Murphy's character in the Netflix movie You People.
We're in a supercar for a day.
As many others flourished by the artistic development that he had while he was in Odd Future, especially his 2011 mixtape was produced by Tyler, Syd, and Left Brain, which set him on a good path forward. Years later, he reunited with Tyler by collaborating with him to his track Manifesto on Tyler's most recent albums, Call Me If You Get Lost. In 2022, he teamed up with Evidence for a new album, intros, outros, and interludes. And in 2023, he continued this trend, What You Don't Get, a project with much more to come.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Mike G has been chilling lately, man. I mean, back in the day, he had a lot of appearances on Loiter Squad shows and in Odd Future albums, and also served as a member of Chopstar DJs, with his latest album, Soul, being in 2022. These days, he's just chilling.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Considering that he was in Odd Future and he co-founded the Jet Age of Tomorrow with Matt Martian, it wouldn't be his character to not stay versatile. After leaving his label, he connected with the indie music scene and he made a collab with Vilma Archer, releasing Vilma Vritra. His solo work, including the anticipated 2024 album Albert, reflects his ongoing evolution. Vritra is set to dive into experimental production so that his latest album could be a compelling entry to his catalog.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Na-Kel Smith, a skateboarder who became a part of the Odd Future family, was introduced to the crew through the shared skateboarding and rap subculture that the group often celebrated. Aside from his collabs with the group, most notably in Tyler's Wolf, Na-Kel formed a rap group with Earl Sweatshirt, Hawk Slaughter Boys. He's also involved in acting in his lead role in Jonah Hill's film mid-90s, and beyond that he founded the streetwear brand Hodgy's Hardware.
We're in a supercar for a day.
Hodgy Beats has been on a constant change since his Odd Future era, choosing to follow his own path. He changed his name from Hodgy Beats to just Hodgy, and then continued his work with Left Brain under the Mellow Hype name, and made a record deal releasing Fireplace, The Not The Other Side, in 2016. From this time forward, he stayed doing his thing. He is consistent and continues to drop music to this day. His most recent project, Love Me Sooner, a new side of him that he presents to the world. Each member continued the old path, and everything moves. But I think the most important legacy that Odd Future has is the way they presented themselves. Let me explain. When Odd Future was created, Tyler and the others understood that for music to have an audience, it wasn't enough to just release it. Odd Future promoted themselves by intersecting branding and culture long before it became the industry standard. They saw ahead to a time when marketing and being a brand could matter as much as the music itself. They promoted these lifestyles by Tumblr and YouTube. They screamed OF on every video and song. They trolled to cause reactions before it was even the norm. Such as Wu-Tang Clan will make the logo iconic to this day. Such as Wu-Tang Clan will make the logo iconic to this day. Odd Future made the brand to last by recognizing how important it is to present what you are before what you can do. The pseudo-intimacy of this post also helped them transcend, and in that way, each member's personality created their own microculture, essentially becoming the first niche internet micro-celebrities before even becoming big. And today, nearly every artist follows the same idea. Odd Future turned the counterculture they created to a lifelong legacy that they still are profiting today. And for that, each member is being recognized for the contribution on Odd Future. Today, the members of Odd Future have tried to strand away from that recognition, and I'm not blaming them. I wouldn't want to be recognized for the rest of my fucking life for the shit I did as a teenager. But their influence on art and their legacy as marketing geniuses is unquestionable. The point I'm trying to make in this video is listen to Frank Ocean. I will see you guys again. See ya. Love you.
Ocean, I would listen to your music, but you like boys.